Hey there, how are you guys? I am going to do a review on Lights Out because I did see this movie about a week ago, in fact, but for some odd reason it's actually still really fresh in my mind. So let's get into it before it leaves my mind entirely. So let's just get into it. So there was a girl named Diana who was a ghost that can only appear in the dark. Turns out that Diana was actually a really good friend of Sophie's way back in the day when they were really young. So Sophie, has a friend that has this connection with somebody who is dead, like Diana. And she's been dead for a long time, in fact, and so she comes back to terrorize Sophie's family. So Sophie has a daughter named Rebecca, and she's a full-grown adult who has her own apartment. And she also has a son named Martin, and he's very, very young, and he's very terrified of Diana. He will do whatever it takes to lock doors and stuff like that, just to get away from Diana, because she's really creepy to him. It's really all up to Rebecca and Martin. They're pretty much, half brother and sister. They're working together to figure out a way to find a solution and, do research on Rebecca and find out what her past was like, and just to see how to find some kind of solution to get rid of her entirely so that they can be safe. I definitely was excited for this movie when I first heard about it, when I first saw that it was announced, and when I first, found out about the short film. I was pretty excited at the moment, but then when I saw the movie, I was like, I walked out of the theater like, that wasn't really quite as good as I hoped it would. That wasn't quite as good as I hoped it would be, but I did enjoy it. I did walk out of the theater kind of satisfied, at least, so nearly satisfied. Yeah, I'll say nearly loosely. So, I did enjoy it. I was expecting a little bit more from it. And basically my main issue with the movie is, it's a little bit too convoluted as far as the story goes, but overall it is pretty good. Yeah, Gabriel Bateman was probably the best part of this movie, I think. He gave, I think, the best performance in the entire movie. I do like the character development in this movie. I think it works pretty well, but then after a while it just gets a little bit convoluted after all because, they get, they just get a little bit too much into the overall origin of Diana herself, they just get a little bit too much into it. So, I don't know, it just after a while, it just really didn't really do it for me anymore. But I did like the movie. Don't get me wrong. I did like Lights Out. I did enjoy it. It had a really creepy atmosphere to it. It really is kind of terrifying if you kind of think about it, because if you can only see a person in the dark and not in the light, that something's wrong there. Yeah, this is a good movie. I do like it, but Bateman in this movie. Gabriel Bateman is excellent in here. I think he's by far the best part of this movie. I think he steals the entire thing. I think he was by far the most interesting, and it's probably the best, if not the best, child performance of this whole year because, yeah, I thought Gabriel Bateman was just excellent as this character, Martin. I thought he was very, like he looked like he was scared throughout the entire thing, and that's what I loved. I love it when your characters are in a scary situation and you feel scared too. That's what I like, and that's what I really appreciate. And and props to whoever directed this movie. I didn't go look it up, so whoever directed it did a good job. So. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie is based on a short film, actually, and I actually saw the short film way before I saw this movie, in fact, so that was a pretty creepy short film, in fact. It was very, very effective. That short film was so super effective, man. After I saw that, I gotta see the full feature film. After I saw that after I saw that short film, in fact, I had to see the feature film. I had to see what the feature film was like. And to be honest, it's not quite as good as that short film was. It just wasn't. Yeah, so Lights Out wasn't quite as effective as the short film, that I saw about, I want to say 2 weeks ago before the movie came out, before the movie was released. So, I mean, not saying it wasn't creepy. It definitely was. It had some pretty effective scenes in here. It was really, really creepy. It was, but it just wasn't quite as effective as that original short film was. It just wasn't. Was pretty scary though. It was. Yeah, so I really liked Maria Bello in this movie. I thought she gave a really good performance, and she was really good in the movie. I thought, and I really loved Gabriel Bateman in this movie. I thought Gabriel Bateman he pulled off a great child performance. I thought he was amazing in this movie. He's by far my favorite part of this movie. He was just like his character Martin, it just felt, he just felt scared in the movie, and you felt scared too, along with him. And he just nailed it here. I really loved him in this movie. I thought he was great. Really isn't too much else I can say about it, other than that it's a good horror film, and I didn't, I wasn't disappointed by it, but at the same time, I was kind of slightly let down by it, just slightly. So, because I was expecting a little bit more from it. That's just all. Other than that, it's not a bad movie at all. It really isn't. Go see it if you want to. It's definitely enjoyable and fun, and it does have some effective scenes. I gotta admit that. So, yeah, definitely go see it in the theaters if you get the chance. Go see it in the theaters. So. As far as Teresa Palmer as Rebecca, the daughter of Sophie, I thought that Teresa Palmer was pretty good. Not too bad. Just not amazing. Nowhere near as good as Gabriel Bateman or even Maria Bello, that's for sure. I thought that Maria Bello and, Gabriel Bateman, I thought those two were by far the best. I thought they gave some of the best performances like in this entire movie, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, I do like Lights Out. I do think it's very enjoyable. I think it's a really good horror film. I do like it. It's good horror, just not great horror. So Lights Out gets a B-. Yeah, this movie just wasn't quite as effective as the short film was, but it's still enjoyable. It's still a pretty creepy horror film, definitely. So, what did you guys think of Lights Out? Let me know down below in the comments, and we'll be sure to read it. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. Take it easy, guys, and take care, everyone.